All right, welcome everyone to Infusions of Light. I'm so delighted that you're here with me today. Infusions of Light is a global broadcast coming to you monthly that is focused on the evolution, healing, and awakening of humanity, person by person. So this broadcast will include prayer and meditation, wisdom teachings, as well as transmissions from higher dimensional guides and the Council of One. And during this time, I will be using different words for the divine. This is more of a spiritual experience than it is what I'll call a religious experience. So if at any time I say a word that doesn't resonate with you in terms of your connection, your identity to your religious or spiritual beliefs, I just want to really invite you to find the word that works best for you. And for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Dr. Melissa Sophia Joy. I'm a divine feminine teacher, as well as an oracle for a high ascended master council called the Council of One, as well as I'm a practicing naturopathic doctor, mind, body, spirit specialist, and a founder of a spiritual practice and a mind-body modality called Somatic Awakening. And again, I'm just really, really delighted that you're here with me today. And today we're going to focus on one of my favorite topics, on self-love. And before we dive into the wisdom teachings for today, I really want to open to the divine power of love through the power of prayer. So as you're ready, go ahead and join with me by closing your eyes, taking some nice deep breaths in and out, and just feel your own connection to your heart in this moment. Just noticing how your heart is today, what's happening in your heart. Maybe it's excited, maybe it's afraid, maybe it's confused, or maybe it's hurting. Wherever you're at today, I want to invite you to really connect in from a place of self-compassion and self-love. Just offering this love to yourself as we open to the wider and vaster planes of spirit. So we call forth and know the presence of the I Am Spirit of our holy oneness together. And in the master spirit of the Creator that is living within all, we call you forward now to claim both our deep worthiness of love, our deep connection to this unity, to ourselves, as well as to each other, all who are on this call. We are joining now in the unification of this love, and we see and call that forward now. And we call in the high holy ones, the ascended masters of the Council of One. So we call you in by name. We call in the great master Jesus, also known as Yeshua, the Christed One. We call in Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene. We call in Isis and Hathor. We call in Saint Germain and Babaji. We call in Green Tara and Kuan Yin. And any others that I have forgotten, and especially and including those from the star systems who are in alignment with the law of love, the law of one, and in alignment with the evolution of humanity. We call you forth now, as well as the angelic and archangelic guides who are constantly watching over us. We give gratitude for your constant holding us and helping us to evolve. And in this holy container, we now command that any who are not of the law of one, who are not of the law of love, you must leave now. And we know that this is so, and we command it to be so. Thank you, it is done, it is done, it is done. And we call forth the crystalline light of the Christ consciousness to now imbue every aspect of our being, of our cells, of our atoms, of the quantum field of our oneness. We give gratitude for this love that you are holding us with, as well as the constant evolution that you are bestowing upon us. We give great gratitude for this. And we call upon the Holy Sisterhood of the Holy Grail, the Magdalene Sisters. And we give gratitude for how much You love us and are sharing with us the water of healing and the water of love. Deep gratitude for who you are and the ancient path that goes on thousands of years behind you. We give gratitude for you. And now we call upon the Archangel Michael to seal this container in protection with his sword, his great sword of protection, knowing that we are now in between the worlds, that we are being held in the great and powerful healing presence of love. Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. So welcome. Welcome, holy ones. I'm really delighted that you heard the call to join in today. Self-love is one of the most powerful and transformative powers that we have, energies that we have on our planet. In my journey as a healer who has gone deep into my own healing and has helped many, many others in their deep and profound healing journey, there is no other energy that I have found that is as powerful as love to transform our life, to dissolve back into oneness and to dissolve back into a sense of our deep home and our soul, all aspects of us that are afraid, that are lonely, that are lost, that are trapped in trauma. Love is the one energy that I have found that transforms, that has that alchemical energy more than anything else. So bringing an awareness of this self-love to ourself, to our physical body, to our energy body, and definitely to our emotional body, our sense of our subconscious especially, transforms and changes our life. It's one of the most powerful steps that we can take in our journey of awakening, and especially in our journey of embodiment. In other words, bringing the spirit, our awakened energy, down into our body. So again, welcome. So what I'd like to do is just take a few minutes discussing some of the primary principles that I've learned in my own journey with myself, as well as many that I've worked with, in terms of what we need to do to bring self-love really into our life. So the first thing that I want to talk about is self-compassion and self-kindness. So we start this on what I'll call a surface level. So this includes all of the things that we do that nurture ourselves, all of the self-care that we give ourselves. So it includes receiving massages or doing hot tubs or taking a day off because you need a mental health day, or eating right. Of course, it includes eating right and exercising and all of those things. It includes all the positive affirmation that we can give ourselves. I know whenever I first started on this journey, whenever I was in my 20s, there were so many of us that were putting Post-it notes up on our mirror saying, I love you, and you're great, and you're wonderful. And it was really helpful. However, what I noticed after a while is that there were all of these voices inside of me that were the opposite of that. For instance, I would see my Post-it note on my mirror in the morning saying, I love you, you're wonderful, you're so worthy. And then as I would go through the day, I would hear these subconscious voices that would say just the opposite. So the deepest level of having self-compassion for ourselves really is bringing that self-compassion into those parts that don't believe that we're worthy, that believe that we can't get love because we're not good enough. We can't get the job that we really want, or we can't get the dream of whatever that is, whatever dream you have, whether it be a dream of being a musician or a dream of being a teacher or a dream of whatever that is, right? We can't get it because these voices are holding us down, saying that we can't. So the deepest part of this journey is allowing yourself, first of all, to come face to face with these voices and to start understanding what they are and where they come from. In my experience of working with these voices, both in myself and especially with other people, what I have found is that most of the time, I'm even going to say almost all of the time, they come from a place of wounding and trauma that has twerked our subconscious so that we believe something different. An example of this is someone who's gone through, their parents have gone through a divorce and they're a child, and they believe that they're responsible for that divorce, that they didn't love their parents enough, or that somehow they messed up. And so that belief gets really imprinted upon that person throughout their life, and then it continues on until they then have the awareness and the ability to turn toward that voice and say, oh, I see you. I see this is where you're coming from. This is the trauma that you rose up from. And now I want to give you love. So that is really some of the deepest lessons that we need to go through in order to fully love ourselves. And it's something that I do all the time in my own practice, helping people connect with those voices and connect with the love that is inherent inside of themselves to give to those voices. And then what happens is those voices start to calm down. They start to relax. Even some of them dissolve. And as we go through this process again and again and again, we have more space for love in our being. So it's what I call the embodiment of love, which is a vast and powerful path. And some of you I know have been on this path for quite a while. Some of you are brand new to it. So those of you who are brand new, I really invite you to connect with a healer that can help you with that, whoever that is, as well as those who have been on the path for quite a while and you have a sense of this. I also just want to let you know that I have some free meditations on my website under the teaching sections called free recordings, and there's some free somatic awakening meditations that can really help you stabilize this even more. So now we move on to the second principle, and that is being honest to yourself. Honesty to self is so incredibly important because so often we don't have that really deep commitment to be totally honest with ourselves, because being totally honest with ourselves sometimes means that we need to do things that are going to make other people unhappy. So in that process of really allowing ourselves to really see and really be with what our truth is, what our deeper truth is, what happens is that we then are invited to step into the third principle of self-love, and that is sovereignty. So sovereignty, another word for sovereignty, we can call it healthy selfishness. So what that really means is that we are putting ourselves just as, or more important than other people. And the highest version of that, it's seeing self as divine and understanding that your needs are incredibly important. And sometimes that unfortunately means disappointing others. So an example of this is that as I was preparing for this class, of course, if you're a teacher, you know, anytime you prepare for anything that you're going to teach, you're given more lessons in that. And so I've been receiving lots of lessons in that, including a lesson that showed up in many different ways, many different configurations, especially with my best friend and my beloved, my partner. And each of us had our own experience and many different configurations of that, of having some decisions to be made where we were really asked to be sovereign, where we were really asked to come to that relationship and say, I love you and I want to give you what you want, but unfortunately I can't give it to you right now because I have a need that I really need to take care of right now. And so that is an example of sovereignty. And on the higher realms of sovereignty, what we're really looking at is, again, seeing ourselves, knowing ourselves worthy of being the divine being that we are. So it's another level of allowing that self-love to come even deeper, because how can we know ourselves as divine if we don't love ourselves fully? So another way of saying it is that if we have those voices running saying that we're not good enough, we have those voices running saying that in order to be loved, we must give ourselves away to other people, or we must do something that's not in alignment to our highest truth in regard to other people, then we don't really have the full foundation of honoring ourselves as a divine being, especially if we're making ourselves less than. So sovereignty is one of the key points of taking the next step in self-love. Now, the fourth point of self-love is holy aloneness. So there's, again, many different variations of this. Every single principle has many different levels of it. So the first level of it is taking time for yourself to really be with yourself and allow what you most want to manifest in that time. So in other words, maybe what you most want is to meditate. Maybe what you most want is to take a hot tub. Maybe what you most want is to see that show on Gaia TV that you've been wanting to watch, or to journal, or to do something else, to cook some beautiful meal for yourself. I remember one time I was in a workshop, and at the very end of the workshop, we were all asked to share something that we are committing to in terms of moving forward. This was many years ago, and a woman said, "I commit to having a date with myself every week." And I was really moved by that. And I was like, that is such a good idea. I really want to do that. And I can't say I have a date with myself every week, because I'm a single mom and I have a practice and I can get really busy. But what I do is that when I do have time to myself, I make it special. I clear the deck. I clear my to-do list and I say, what do I most want from myself right now? How can I most nurture myself? And then this can go all the way deep into realizing our aloneness in our awakening process. I'm not going to go too much into that, but for some of you, I know you are deep in your awakening process, and you know what I'm talking about in really aligning to understanding ourselves as divine beings, that we're different from everybody else. And we're also the same in our oneness. So this can be one of those contradictions in terms of the awakening path. So again, I'm not going to go too much into this, but there is a place where we really come home to honoring and dropping in and relaxing into our holy aloneness. So then that comes to the fifth and final principle that I want to talk about today, and that is the sacred union of masculine and feminine inside of us. So again, many layers here. So we begin with honoring and acknowledging and seeing that we have both aspects inside of us, whether you're male or female, or whether you don't identify with either one of those identifications. There are inside of us a male side and a female side. And as we start to come to understand what each aspect is showing up as, so say for instance you're a female and you have a really strong female side and your male side is really weak and in the corner, right? So you want to give some more love and healing and presence to your male side so that he can step up more into the plate of your life. And eventually, as both of them come into a healed place, they can come into unification. And this is something that you can begin through the power of visualization and imagination and intuition, and then it goes deeper and deeper and deeper until it gets to be both a felt sense and awakened sense of this unification. In mystical Christianity, they call this the anthropos, so the sacred union coming together. So where two are made as one, as Jesus said in the book of Thomas. So now I want to talk about one more piece in this wisdom teaching part in regard to the power of the heart, and then we're going to go into transmission and meditation. So just the other day, I was listening to Greg Braden. I'm sure many of you know him. He's a pretty famous teacher, spiritual teacher, and teacher of quantum awareness. And he was talking about how they have discovered that in the heart that there are thousands and thousands of what they're calling neurites. And a neurite is almost identical to a neuron in the brain. And so in the brain, as you know, you might know, we have this huge neural network of all of these neurons connecting with multiple levels of information happening simultaneously. And what they're discovering is that the heart also has this. And this process of discovering came on board more and more and more the more they were doing heart transplants. And these amazing stories were coming up with people who actually got a heart from another person, and all of these multiple levels of memories, so much so that they couldn't discount it anymore as just coincidence. They started really looking at it, and they discovered these neurites in the heart. So in other words, your heart has its own brain that's independent of our physical brain. And when we come together in a synchronization and a harmonization of what I call the heart-brain complex, many things happen. So we get more connected to our subconscious. We have more vaster sense of memory. We also have this incredible deep sense of intuition that increases. And the fourth thing that's really important, and especially important for today, is that we are vibrating on the level of love. So we vibrate that in our physical body, in our energetic body, in our emotional body. And remember how I was talking about at the beginning, love is the most powerful healing process, energy, power on this planet. And so what we're really doing in this process is that we're bringing this power, this love, and the healing power of love into our being. So what I'd like to do now is to switch gears and to go into transmission. My sense is that Mary Magdalene will be joining us today. She's been very, very present with me over the last few days, especially this morning while I was in meditation. And so I'm just going to take a moment, just take a sip of water here, a little water break. I invite you to do the same. I have found that everything works better with water. Healing, transmissions, receiving, meditation, connecting in, intuition. It all works better with water. So it's just a little hint for you there. So I'm going to go ahead and switch gears. If you'd like to join me in closing your eyes, feel free to do that. If you do close your eyes, I'm just going to invite you to connect into a meditative stance, into a prayerful stance, to remember your deeper intentions. And I think I've mentioned to everyone on the pre-letter that I sent out to not be driving. So hopefully you're not. If you are, don't close your eyes. But if you are not driving, I am going to invite you just to close your eyes now to go into deeper space here. All right, so this will just be a moment. And then whenever I speak again, I will be speaking in direct alignment with my higher self, with the connection to the Council of One. Greetings. I am Mary Magdalene, and I am the spokesperson today for the Council of One, who includes many ascended masters as well as others who are here joining us from the star systems of Arcturus and Sirius and the Pleiades. So we welcome you all in the light of our oneness and in the light of love that is in our oneness. We thank you for hearing the call of your heart, for hearing the call of your longing, your yearning for a deeper relationship with love. We see and know that many of you have been on this path for quite a long time. And we also see many that are just opening the doors of curiosity. We welcome you fully here in this container, in this vibration, in this holy transmission of love. In this reality, love has many different vibrations, many different definitions. For many of you, your understanding of love has been only from a third dimensional perspective. For some of you, you understand or have had experiences of higher love, but do not know how to bring it into your everyday life. So we want to work with you today and connect with you around a healing transmission for you to take your next steps in vibrating with this love more in your everyday life. It requires two things. First, it requires a connection to the higher vibration of love that you already are. Another way of saying it is that it connects you to the part of you that has always been loved, that has always been love, that has never forgotten this vibration, this holy vibration of love. For this is part of your higher self, what we can call the conduit of divinity. We can also call it the river of love. The only variation is one is a name and one is a feeling. So as you connect into higher and higher states of your, what we could call your higher self, vibrating in higher resonances all the way up to your oneness with Creator, and bringing that down into your physical structure and into what we call the mind-ego complex, which has all of the stories, thoughts, and belief forms with the intention of helping you to survive. Survival is a primary mandate in this world, especially for those running lower third dimensional vibration. Not that it's not important for anyone in a physical body, but it becomes absolutely necessary if you are running energy from a place of, I must survive at all costs. So another way of saying this is that when you're running this energy, this lower vibration energy of survival, it activates automatically this egoic mental constructs. And many of those constructs, dare I say most of those constructs, or even the majority of those constructs, are coming from a place of less than. An example that we could give you is a person who was in a terrible car crash and almost died, perhaps others almost died. And this person blamed themselves for this car crash, whether or not they were to blame. And from henceforth, they told themselves they were a terrible person. So every time this person moves toward feeling like they need to move into a survival state, into a lower vibrational state, that does not necessarily include physical survival. It could include a sense of emotional or energetic survival in the heat of a rage-filled argument. This person automatically will then connect to this voice that says, you're not good enough. So what we are talking about here is allowing this conduit of love, this river of love, to touch these parts so that they can be both seen and healed, and in many cases, dissolved back into the light of oneness, so that you're free to know yourself and to feel yourself more in the state of love and more in the state of synchronization and harmonization of the heart and the higher mind. So we are going to now move into a meditative state so that you can have an experiential process in regard to these words, so that you may receive the transmission of this love. So we begin by connecting you to the grounding field of the earth and her heart womb. So bringing your awareness to the base of your spine, with your breath on your exhale, dropping this energy down into the earth. Every exhale going down deeper and deeper and deeper down into the earth, through the multiple layers of the earth. Dropping all the way in now into your core connection into the earth, that place that has your own blueprint imprinted upon the core of the earth. And allow yourself to connect in here, to feel, sense, know this connection, and to allow yourself to move into what we'll call the heart womb space of the earth. And allowing yourself to fully feel this love, this grounded, nurturing love of Mother Earth here. Grounding your physical body, grounding your nervous system, grounding all of the electrical impulses in your heart and in your brain and all throughout your body, allowing you to be present now, here, in this breath, in this now. And now as you're ready, bringing awareness back up this grounding cord, moving all the way back up into your feet, your calves, your thighs, the base of your spine. And now moving up your central channel, saying hello to all of your chakra systems, all of your energy systems in your body, moving all the way up the central channel, up the nervous system, up the spinal cord, all the way up to the top of your head. And now we connect into the light of your higher self. So we invite you now to move into your 8th chakra, which is about 18 inches above your head. And if you give permission on a deeper inward place, all you have to do is just give us permission. We will now help you activate the conduit of light, the conduit of divinity. We are also calling the river of love that connects all aspects of your higher self, all the way up to the oneness of divinity. So we invite you not to think about this or try at all to understand what's happening, but just to allow knowing that this is only happening in alignment with your highest good, in alignment with your capacity. And just allow yourself to receive. And keeping your awareness here at the 8th chakra, just receiving this light of love that you already are, this light of oneness. And at the 8th chakra, we're going to invite your higher self, your present time higher self, to reconfigure this river so that it is in exact alignment with the capacity of your being, especially the capacity of your nervous system. And now, with your permission, and with you leading the way, your higher self leading the way, we're going to invite this love to move down now into your being, starting at the top of your head at your 7th chakra. And allowing this light of love, this river of love, to move into your body. Feel, sense, know it moving into every aspect of your being in the right and perfect amount, not overwhelming your system at all. Moving into every tissue, every cell, moving into every atom, every proton, neutron, electron, moving into now the quantum field, and allowing the energy between the space of divine and your form to allow this light in here, right here, in every atom, again, in the right and perfect amount for you, where you're at on your healing path. No need to have it be too much. And for many of you, we're just going to invite you just to turn it down just a little bit so that it's comfortable. The path of awakening sometimes is uncomfortable, but in this case, with the light of love, we're just going to invite you to turn it down so that it feels very comfortable, very soothing. And we see and know and call in here the Divine Mother, divine feminine energy of love. And we also know and call forth the divine feminine energy of the Father. But especially here in this form right now, we are sensing most of you need this softness of the Mother, the feminine energy of soothing, like the mother who holds the baby who is crying. So notice the places inside of you that need this nurturing, that long for this love. And receive. Drink deeply of this love in all the places inside of you. And again, we just invite you to feel, sense, and intuit this without so much thinking or analyzing or trying to figure out what's happening, but just receive. And feeling and calling forward the exact and perfect alignment of this energy to your body, to the holy sanctuary of the sanctity of your beingness, of your holy life. And we're going to invite this energy here. We see for many of you, there are specific areas or a one area that most needs this love now. So we are going to invite this love here into this place that most needs love. It could be a place where you're physically feeling discomfort or emotionally, energetically feeling discomfort, or perhaps there's a voice that you know that needs this love, a voice of unworthiness perhaps, or a voice of limiting you in some way, limiting your belief in yourself, limiting your abundance, limiting your dreams, limiting your sovereignty, limiting your love. So we invite this love here now, and every person hearing this recording now and in the future. And we hold the sacred container imbued with this love. And as you move into seeing, feeling, sensing, knowing this part of you that most desperately needs this love, just notice what happens. Perhaps it has something that it wants to say to you, or perhaps it has something that it needs, or both. So listen deeply. Paying attention with your powerful, loving presence, offering this part what it most needs. Perhaps it most needs this love. Perhaps it needs your power or your strength that is connected to this love. So just allowing this part to receive whatever it needs, whatever it longs for. Maybe it needs more of your attention. So if that is the case, commit to giving this part of you more of your attention throughout your everyday life. Maybe this part is really afraid. Maybe it needs your courageous love. This part of your higher self that has the ability to stand with no matter how terrifying life can be. We are fully called to be heroes in our life. So feeling that courageous love now, if that is what you most need. And just listen. Going even deeper now. Receiving this transmission in exact alignment with what is most needed for you right now. You are worthy of this love. And if at all possible, we invite this love even deeper now. Just opening. There's nothing that you need to do or try to do, just allowing this river of love to stabilize this part or these parts. And as these parts feel stabilized, we bring this love now to your central channel, which is the energetic part of your spinal cord. All the way from the base of your spine to the top of your head, allowing your life, your being, to be stabilized by this love. And we see and feel and sense and know this love now moving out from this central channel into your body, especially your back body. So that includes your physical back and the back part of your energetic field. To fill all of these areas with this love so that you can lean into this love that is yours, this love that has been yours always. You have only forgotten. Through your multiple lifetimes here on planet Earth, or for some of you who are brand new to planet Earth with the duality that is here, it moves us into a place of forgetting. But now you are being invited to come back home to remember this love that has always been yours. So we invite you to breathe deeply in and out here as you feel this love stabilizing your being, stabilizing your life. The ego mind complex no longer needs to be in control. It can relax now for the love of your higher self, which is also imbued with the wisdom and the grace and the healing that you will ever need, is here. So you're invited to relax now. And if it feels in alignment with you and where you are at on your current path, we invite you to commit now to your higher self, to allowing your higher self to be in charge of your life. If that feels in alignment, if that does not feel in alignment, please do not take that commitment. But if it does, we invite you to do so now. To invite the love, wisdom, grace, healing, vast capacity, vast courage, strength, all of the attributes of your higher self, imbued especially in this love, to allow your higher self now to be in charge. That doesn't mean you have to do it perfectly or that you even exactly know what that looks like. It's just an intention for you to step forward in your life with your higher self leading, for higher self holding, higher self stabilizing your life. And you are greatly supported in this intention by the many, many, many of us who are in alignment with the evolution of humanity, in alignment with the law of love, the law of one. You are not alone. You do not have to figure out how to do this by yourself. So I invite everyone to take a couple of more deep breaths in and out here. We have one more aspect to this meditation. It's coming back to a feeling, sensing, intuiting level of what's happening in your being. And now you are invited to receive the transmission of the unification, the synchronization, and the harmonization of your heart and your higher mind, of the intelligence of the heart unifying with the intelligence of your higher mind, which is totally and absolutely connected to your higher self. Another way of saying it is that it is the higher mental intelligence embodied in form of your higher self. And when I say mental, I mean the mind of the heart and the mind of your brain, unifying together as one, opening the petals of self-love even more. Feeling this love pulsate throughout your entire body, feeling this worth, your worth, the worthiness of your being that has always been worthy, that has never forgotten how worthy you are of this love. And any parts that are perhaps negating this energy, we're just going to wrap them in love and let them know that we're going to work with them in the future, that they're safe, it's okay. You can just let this love in just as much as is possible in your capacity right now. Take some full deep breaths in and out. So allow this to go even deeper into your being. So we are going to end now aligning this with your capacity for some of you. You will notice that your energy field is much more broad and extensive. And for all of you, we are going to bring whatever is too much for your being right now, or you're not ready to understand fully or to embody fully of this love and this worthiness that you are. We're going to, with your permission, bring it out to your future timeline. So again, if you do not give permission, we totally respect that. If you do, we're going to now bring it out through your timeline in your future. And just allow your higher self to drop it into the right and perfect flow for you. And the soul contracts, soul agreements that you've already made in regard to your life and the unfolding of your life, so that you may know this even more in the future. Always remember that we are here for you. If you need us, there are multiple councils of ascended masters and multiple councils of archangels, angelic presences, multiple councils of those from other star systems who are aligned with the law of love and law of one, who are here in this time space continuum of the earth and its evolution and humanity's evolution. So you are not alone. What we want most from you is your understanding of who you are, your understanding of your love, of your worth, or your understanding of your higher self. And always know that we will never push you into anything that is not in alignment with your free will. So if you are ever connected to a being who is pushing you against your free will, know that that is not a being of the law of one, and to get them, you have every right to clear your system out from any being who is doing that. So, in the law of love, the law of healing that is imbued in this love and the deep, deep sense of unified I am presence, we now end this transmission holding each and every member here of this group in the most deepest respect, holding you with the most magnificent love, and seeing you as the divine being that you are. Thank you for joining this transmission. It is now complete. Just taking a moment to breathe, to integrate, just to notice whatever's happening in your being, in your body. And we call and know that this integration of this great, vast love that you are and the healing of this love will continue to integrate in your being in the right and perfect timing and with ease and grace, as well as your highest alignment. And so it is. So thank you so much for joining me today. I deeply appreciate your presence and your commitment to yourself, to your evolution. And we will continue next month, third Friday. And we will have the topic of, what is the topic? Healing anxiety. And so please join us again for next month. And then also, for those of you who are interested in going deeper into this path of love, I'm going to have a day long on Saturday, April 6th from 10 to 6, and it's called Living Love. And the subtitle at this point, I might change it a little bit. The subtitle is Allowing the Wound of Unworthiness to be Healed by the River of Love. So definitely we're going to go much, much deeper into what we just did today. Today was a big taste, but yet just a taste of what we're going to be doing at that day long. So you're now on my email list, so stay tuned for my newsletters, which will give you much more information about this day long if you're interested. Blessings and love to you, and may you know your highest love in your life, and may you love yourself at the deepest levels to know yourself as divine. All right. Have a beautiful day, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.